specialist here. Glad to connect with you guys again. I feel like it's been a little while, but I know it's just been since Saturday. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'm glad to see you here again. Everybody in this community has been so incredibly supportive over the last, years, really, many years now, at least 4 years of social media, at least together. I don't know how many of you have been here since the very beginning. I know some of the names, but let me know how long you have been watching me here on this channel. How long have you been a member of this attachment community? I would love to hear from you. I would love to get to know you a little bit better. Tell me a little bit about you when you pop in. Rose, glad to see you in here. Welcome and thank you for being a supporting member. In here today, live Q&A about your relationships. I would love to learn more about you, but I'd also love to answer some questions. One of my favorite things is what we call micro-coaching, of blasting back and forth. Give me a problem, I show you how to solve it in just a few seconds. I show you in a few seconds how to solve it. There we go. Rose, since April this year. Libica's half a year. Love it. Thank you. Adam, 8 months together. Vivian, all three of you. I recognize your names quite a bit, so I know you've been here. Illegally Read, that is a hell of a name, just a few months ago. Okay, the last few months, not sure exactly when, got it, 3 months. Okay, so summertime is bringing a lot of people in here, almost a year. Glad you're here, Leora, good to see you. Welcome everybody, and I'm so glad you've been here. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your support. You know, I think you know, that my goal is to help 1 billion people build secure attachment. Before the day I die, I'm turning 40 in about 1 month, if you can believe that. I'm going to be 40 years old. I never thought I would live this long. Anyone else have that feeling? And I have the rest of my life ahead of me to help 1 billion people build secure attachment. I was just doing some research with my team this morning. The numbers are definitely going in the wrong direction. Only 33% of adults in the US now have secure attachment, and that's heavily weighted toward the older generations, who might be secure or might be better at pretending everything's fine and screaming at people so that they don't actually get a label or diagnosis. We don't know. But that said, only 33% of adults in the US now have secure attachment. The biggest number, though, that's terrifying me is disorganized style, the blend of the two that's based on more trauma. It's creeping up there. There are now more disorganized attached individuals than anxiously attached individuals. And it's almost overtaking avoidant as well. 33% secure, 25% avoidant, 20% anxious, 22% disorganized. Guys, it's definitely headed in the wrong direction right now. So I appreciate all of your support and your kindness as we head toward building secure attachment for 1 billion people. We will get there. It's just a matter of when. Meshia, thank you for being here and being a member. I appreciate you. Very kind of you. All right, we're going to dive in here. Today is live Q&A about your biggest relationship problems. I'm going to fly through and do the best I can. I'm going to take everybody that I can. Remember that members, paying members with the green name and the star, you get chat priority. So I see you pop up, I take you first, okay? Jelena, me and my boyfriend, my avoidant just got back together. He introduced me to his inner circle, best friend, brother. Cool, we talked yesterday. Today he didn't reach out. What do you think? Number one, don't personalize it if someone doesn't reach out after 1 day. I wouldn't do it that way. That's the biggest problem that anxious people bring into relationships is, it's been 12 hours. What happened? That's number one. Number two, however, you should expect consistent communication, or at least a peaceful, calm nervous system. And your partner's job, part of their job, is helping you providing that, okay? I would talk and say, hey, just a heads up, we had a great day yesterday. You're a little more quiet today. Are you tired? Are you burned out? Does being that close just kind of make you back off? Talk to me about what's going on in your head, right? That level of directness. This is a securely attached behavior. If a securely attached person says, I observe X, tell me about it. I observe we had a great day yesterday. Today you're pretty quiet. Tell me about that. What's going on? Oh yeah, I'm actually legitimately really swamped today. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We did a lot yesterday. I'm just kind of feeling a little tired, honestly, emotionally tired. Oh, cool. Okay. Right? Clarifying. That's what a securely attached person would do. And you should be in a relationship where you can do that. Illegally Read. Thought my significant other was autistic. Come to find out he's just avoidant. That happens. Vivia, getting there, Adam. Sadly, but your work is important still. Totally with you. I appreciate that. Jelena, me and my avoidant ex. Oh, I answered that one. Oh, got back together. Oh, that's the one I answered. McCoy's, how does BPD tie into attachment styles and conflicts? I'm avoidant wife, anxious with BPD. Interesting. So remember that attachment issues are the core non-clinical, but still painful nervous system behaviors. It becomes extreme and then becomes diagnosed with when it goes off the ends of the spectrum toward personality disorders, where it's been fully taken over by those personality disorder types. You might, McCoys, want to look into, if your wife's maybe more anxious, but with BPD traits, you might want to look into what other people have called fearful avoidant in the past, what I call loud disorganized. It's a blend of anxious and avoidant, and they flip back and forth based on the experience they're having with you in that moment. That's a very, very common behavior pattern, but that might be explaining what you're seeing. HSP, good to see you in here. Partner keeps rubbing in my face that his kids come first, but they're a 5-hour plane ride away. Their mom's fears seem to override everything. Why, when you say rubbing your face in it, tell me about that. Because no one should ever be rubbing your face in something, or treating you poorly, or putting you in your place by reminding you of things like this. It's not appropriate. So tell me more about that. Archeon, hello, good to see you, Archeon. Scroll through for members. Rose, my ethical avoidant, I think. Okay. Man has said he has deep feelings for me. Cool. But he ends things when we get close, usually every 2 months or so. It's hard. That is really hard. Remember that a man's job is to provide 4 levels of safety in a relationship to a woman, so her nervous system can be fully calm and settled. She can be fully in her feminine. That allows her oxytocin receptors to open. From that, she receives that connection and then abundantly gives back that love and affection to everyone around her. This is that feminine effect. However, man must provide those 4 levels of safety to do that. Rose, he owes you 4 levels of safety if he wants to be in a relationship with you. If he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, he doesn't owe those to you. But if he's going to be in a relationship with you, mandatory. These are non-optional. He must provide them. And if he's not currently, he must have a plan for how he's going to get there and run that plan by you and be working on it diligently. It is not acceptable for a man not to be doing that. Working on it. What is the attachment style when someone's so rigid in their ways, routines, schedule, they aren't able to compromise? Some avoidant people can be that way. It can be an autistic feature also. But so many avoidant people are very rigid in that way because that's the only way they know how to function. So are they willing to have conversations with you? If not, then they probably don't want a relationship with you. They want benefits from you. They want to farm you for good feelings and then throw you aside when you're inconvenient. That's not a human relationship, by the way. That's the part of your brain that lights up for using a tool use. Okay? Some people in relationships light up the tool use area, use you like a tool, toss you away. We want the areas responsible for full human intimacy and connection, especially empathy. Jelena, he's such a workaholic. Okay, I didn't say anything about that date with the circle because I didn't want to suffocate him. You know, this is the thing right here. Anxiously attached women. I didn't want to mention that it was great because that would suffocate him. I didn't want to ask about his day, so I'm just going to quietly sit here and have heart palpitations and long for death because he hasn't talked to me in 12 hours. A little bit dramatic, but it's also true. Securely attached woman would say, hey, jokingly, I know you're a little bit of a workaholic. I'm just checking in with you. We had a great time yesterday, and afterwards, sometimes there's a tendency to pull away. Let me know, are you feeling exhausted and need some space today? Is that what's going on? A securely attached woman would be very clear and direct instead of guessing and assuming. New rule, Jelena, if you ever guess ever again, you lose. Okay? It's actually an old rule. This has been your life. If you are ever guessing, you lose. But if you ask questions like, are you mad at me? You also lose, because then that creates exhaustion on their side. So, hey, I know X. I observe A. What's going on? Very simple. Leah, 8 months of living together, daily arguments. Every time we have sex or a really great day, he intentionally starts an argument. Leah, that sounds like what we call oxytocin-phobic response. You have oxytocin that trickles through his system. It makes him scared and angry. He attacks to try to drive you away. Less indicative of avoidant attachment style, more indicative of fearful avoidant, what we call loud disorganized. More indicative of that. Men with pure avoidant styles don't usually have oxytocin phobia. Women with pure avoidance styles can have oxytocin phobia, but men with pure avoidance usually do not. That sounds more like the fearful avoidant piece. How can a fearful avoidant trust again? JD, that is exactly the pattern of fixing fearful avoidant, loud, disorganized style, is actually building that trust process back in for a select group of people that go through an exact process where you assess them to see if they're a good fit. At the same time, you assess yourself to see if you are trustworthy. They call this the 4 levels of trust. You must build a program that systematically shows you who to trust and who not to trust, because otherwise everybody gets dumped in one big bucket and then you're afraid all the time. Arkian, do you think the loneliness epidemic is caused by insecure attachment? I think it is massively caused by insecure attachment. I think that there's a tremendous number of social, technology, cultural factors that also go into it, but I think it is allowed, all of those other things are actually built on top of the insecure pieces first. I don't think we got cell phones and then developed attachment issues. I think that we got cell phones that preyed upon those with attachment issues and made it much worse. Rose, I've tried asking questions, not taking these personally. He started learning about attachment styles. Cool. But I don't know how to talk to him when he wants to end things this way. Hey, I think you're an amazing guy. I honestly do. And I would love to be with you for the rest of my life. For me to make that work, my nervous system needs to be calm. And right now, our relationship causes my nervous system to do this, up and down and up and down. And I can't live that way. I am going to get cancer and die. So I don't want to be that, but I also want to make sure you get what you need. So what can we do together to make sure that we are now, going forward, calm and stable, we're at peace, and we're safe? Can we build that first? If we cannot, that's okay. If you don't want that, that's also fine. We just won't be able to be together. But again, I would love to. So is this something we can fully commit to and then actively take continuous, measurable steps toward for the rest of our lives? That's how you do it, Rose. Huge forehead. Thank you. This is where I store all of my attachment knowledge. I've done 16 years of training and experience in the field of psychology. I worked with so many people. This is where I store it, so thank you for noticing. My boyfriend does not want to get married. We've been together for 1.5 years. He avoids important subjects like moving in and marriage. I constantly feel like I'm not enough. Luby, you need to make a change here. Anxiously attached people will say, well, when people don't like me, I just have to try harder, and eventually they feel good and then do it. Anxiously attached people are relying on benign manipulation, not exploitative manipulation, but benign manipulation. No one ever likes me anyway, so it's probably my fault. I just need to try harder. Luby, you have a person who is afraid of marriage, does not want to get married. You didn't say he's thinking about it. He doesn't want to get married. He doesn't want a relationship. Why are you chasing somebody, and this is not to be meaning, but why are you chasing somebody who is that clear and direct with you? Do you want a marriage? Do you want family? If so, you are with the wrong person. Munka Mama, nice name. With avoidant for 8 months. He's consistent, shared trauma, close friends. He's gained through custody, trying to help. He's shutting down emotionally and little communication. At 6 to 7 months, okay, 6 or 7 months, novelty dopamine in a relationship dies. It must be during that entire 5 to 7 month process, gradually growing in oxytocin and fully replaced by oxytocin. You need to be building oxytocin and vasopressin, by the way, and doing proper bonding rituals and connections together. If you're not, yes, eventually the 5 to 7 month mark, their pleasure craters, and they say, I guess I'll never be happy again. And then they settle into a life of miserable duty with you, which is where they begin to pull away emotionally, go quiet, their stress is high, that you can't help them the way that you used to. Most women at this point panic, and they start pulling out dopamine things like spicing up the bedroom with lingerie, toys, videos, another girl, whatever they can. And that's just patching the dopamine issue while further eroding the relationship because you now feel like an object and you feel like you're never good enough. So you get more and more panicked while hoping for more and more and more. And that's not the work either. Building the oxytocin and vasopressin together is mandatory. Vivia, 4 levels. Why do avoidants think you have expectations as an attack? Because every person in their childhood had unrealistic, arbitrary expectations that were attacks. And now they fear being engulfed, betrayed, attacked, and enslaved into other people's emotions. There's a process called coercive soothing Most of their parents and caregivers enacted coercive soothing, as in you are coerced into soothing the other person. And now when the anxious person says, I don't know if you really like me anymore, it sounds like you're twisting their arms saying, you better stop what you're doing, be incredibly romantic, and make me feel happy right now, or I'm going to blow up in your face. Because they're used to a parent who did those things. So now they go, oh, another betrayal. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and you're demanding that I stop and take care of you emotionally. How could you do this to me? I'm sick of your crap. So they read your message and they throw it on the couch and refuse to answer. That's because they're anticipating coercive soothing when the anxious person's coming in saying, I just don't know if you like me anymore. And the anxious person is not trying to force coercive soothing, but it looks like it. Remember that from the avoidant person's perspective, a person with anxious attachment looks like an unreliable, manipulative person who's out to rob them. That's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm saying that's what it looks like. Just as much as anxious people want to complain about avoidant people don't complain because they have no one to talk to, number one. And number two, they expect that everyone's a jerk in some way anyway. But number three, they really do see anxiously attached people as manipulators. They really do. They don't think you're evil, usually, but they think you are manipulative. So how do you tell an avoidant you've fallen in love with them without freaking them out? Literally saying, I want to tell you something very important without freaking you out. And before I do, I'm going to make some very clear expectations. I don't expect you to return this feeling, and I don't expect you to do anything right now. I'd like to share this with you, and then we can have a calm conversation about just where we're at to make sure that we're both investing to the right levels. I want you to know that I care about you deeply. In fact, I would say I love you. Here are the parts of you. Here are the character attributes about you that I admire. This is why I have fallen in love with you, is because of the person that you are. Now, can I ask you, what are your feelings toward me? That's the way you have that conversation. That sounds familiar. I relate to the things you say. Okay, I need a child. I don't want to marry. The drama of marriage is too much. If you marry the wrong person, it 100% is the wrong person and the wrong marriage, and it will bring you tremendous pain and agony. Picking the wrong partner is definitely a horrific decision. Picking the right partner is an amazing, fantastic life experience. I've been married to my wife for almost 17 years now, you guys. We have 5 children together, okay? If you want a kid, the research shows that the biggest, absolute, most defining feature of that child's well-being is whether their parents are married or not. So this whole marriage is just a piece of paper. The people that tell you that make it their life crusade to convince everyone around them that marriage is no big deal. Square that one for me. All right. If you were secure, they became anxious. Does that mean you were anxious all along? There are times where you can change, but it usually takes a person with a personality disorder and inflicting massive trauma on you. I will say, I am very skeptical of, I was completely secure until this one relationship with so-and-so where I completely collapsed in anxious behaviors, and now I'm anxious. I am enormously skeptical of that, particularly because I hear it so often. I hear it so often. Everything was great until I met this one person and completely crashed into absolute people-pleasing mode, and now I'm stuck in it forever. I've heard that a lot, very skeptical. Usually what that means is you had some mild anxious tendencies that hadn't been fully activated yet. You met somebody who maybe was a lot more emotionally distant than you're used to, and it grabbed that part of you in a specific way that activated very specifically and brought forth an element that was already there. Again, to affect that level of change for a securely attached person would take a partner with a severe personality disorder. That's usually the case. Anointed, hi, I'm a wife from Germany. I can't have sex with my husband since 5 years. When I try, my body will block itself. He will never hear my heart. I'm bleeding inside. I don't want to. You might be talking about what's called Vaginismas, which is actually where the passage closes shut out of fear, anxiety, stress, terror. This can happen even if you have a good loving partner, but if you don't happen to have a good loving partner, it can also cause some serious problems. There's a number of ways to work on this. I've had clients with this issue over the years. It is a medical concern, so you can go to a doctor, but some things that also often tend to help, a lot of building what we call the oxytocin pipeline. Emotional safety first. Most cases of vaginismus, there's emotional safety missing. Okay? Emotional intimacy after that. Non-sexual physical touch, sexual physical touch, foreplay, intercourse, aftercare. Okay? Those, and then back to emotional intimacy. It's repeat. It's cycle back. It's this 8-step process of cycling to build the female sex drive, and frankly, the male sex drive too. But emotional safety is usually what's missing from all the cases of vaginismus that I've worked on and worked with in many, many years. Okay. Megan, greetings. Good to see you. Thank you for being a member and supporting me. After a 1-year fade away from my avoidant, he's warming up. Best to let him broach the relationship rekindling for me to do very naturally. I test secure on your quiz. I will say this. Make sure that you are investing in the relationship to the proper degree, equally to him, and no, not more, number one. And the only way to really do that is to have a conversation with him. Now, that does not have to be, tell me how much you're invested. It can be, talk to me about where you're at. Talk to me about how things are different where they are today. Who are you now? Who are you becoming? Who are you growing into? Who do you want to be? Is he capable of personal conversations like that? That's really important. Is he capable of them? Has he started actually growing, or is he just talking about maybe someday eventually sort of growing? Otherwise, you're going to be in it for another year and then broken up for another year and then in it for a year. I've seen that pattern. I've seen that pattern many times. Rose, Adam, I've started taking some of the supplements you talk about. Oh, okay. Theanine, taurine, magnesium, working great for anxiety. I've noticed feeling depressed after taking them. Depression after taking them. I'm curious. Well, if you have abnormal side effects, you always want to check with a doctor, and I am not a doctor. I will say a couple of things that I have seen in my experience. Sometimes I have seen people, they have really intense anxiety, but as they begin to diminish it, they also have a lot of pain, sadness, and despair underneath it, and the anxiety was masking it. And when the anxiety goes away, the depression seems to go up. It's been there all along. I've seen that before. Life pain, life sadness, life stress. I have seen that a number of times. Generally speaking, depression comes about from a sense of helplessness. It's more a helplessness and hopelessness. So scan for those as well. And then check the dosages of what you're taking as well. Taking too many of stress-relieving supplements can sometimes flatten your nervous system. Ashwagandha, and as an example, you take too much of it, you begin flattening your emotions and flattening your mood out. Your system can begin to just crash, and various things can start happening there. So keep an eye on all of those factors. Talk to a doctor if you're really concerned. Meshia, my biggest relationship problem is my FA is seeming to be DA. I communicate how I don't like how we speak consistently, not constantly, but consistently. She continues on not being consistent. But she has had a change in her career. I know she's stressed. It's hard for me. I don't feel like I don't matter. She's been stressed before. It's never been like this. I'm scared she will leave. Meshia, my question for you, and all of you really, what is your long-term life vision? What's your long-term life goal? What do you want? Do you want to build a family? For me, I want to help 1 billion people build secure attachment. I want to have a thriving family, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, great-great-grandkids, great-great-great-grandkids. It's a whole family ecosystem. And I want to live in a way that is consistent and pleasing with my faith, my religious faith, right? Those are my 3 real goals, okay? Secure attachment, healthy, thriving family, religious faith. Those are my 3 goals. So when I ask myself what I should do, it's what is going to get me most close to those 3 goals. What's most conducive to that? Now, a lot of people narrow their focus down to the one person in front of them. And with attachment issues, you feel like you're going to die if you don't get validation and immediate connection. So most people say, Adam, I will sacrifice anything and everything on the entire planet, including my own self-respect, my goals, everything, my entire world, to get this person to stay with me for 5 more minutes. And that's the problem. Male or female, you need to have long-term goals you're actually trying to reach, and your partner needs to fit appropriately with those goals and be conducive to them. In fact, they should share most of your big goals, and then your smaller goals they should encourage and support you toward. My wife and I work diligently on building the family together and living our religious faith together. And then she supports me strongly on my mission to help 1 billion people build secure attachment, right? That's the big piece. That's the big piece of the connection. So we need to build that. You need to build a long-term vision that you're actually committing to. And your partner should be enhancing that vision with you, if that makes sense. This in particular is why we need to be making sure that our partner fits into our life. Not that we are giving up everything to be with them for 5 more minutes or 1 more year or 6 more months or just get them back and figure it out after that. Because you could have the worst partner in the world. You could have the absolute worst partner in the world. You might have the best partner in the world and not know it because you don't know what your goals are. So there we are. Misha, will you ever do attachment videos that are based around queer relationships? I tend to do groups that are the biggest viewers because I wanted to speak to as many people as possible. I'm comfortable talking about whatever. Let me know what you've got going on and I'm here to help. But Misha, I hope that answer that I just gave really focuses in on that. I think you need to apply a different lens to your relationship. Instead of, I'm afraid they're going to leave and they won't work with me. This is what I need to achieve that. Are they going to give me this, or are they going to sabotage me here and 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 ruin that vision so my life is actually going to go in that direction and I'm going to hate it? Make sense? That's the problem that most of us are falling into right there. That's the problem. I'll take one more. Priscilla, when fixing our attachments together, can an avoidant man move past his belief we can't marry because his troubled teen daughter may disapprove? He must. Because she might disapprove is very different from, let's have a conversation like grown-ups. Let's have a conversation where we talk with her and say, this is what we're thinking. But we recognize this is a family, and we're not going to just tell you how it's going to be. What would make you comfortable with the 2 of us getting married? This is not, by the way, surrendering all options of your life over to somebody else either. This is really looking at it and saying, we are all going to be a family at some point. We love each other and want to get married, but we don't also want to cause friction with you. And it's not one wins and the other loses. How can we all win together? What would it look like for us to really get your blessing in this marriage so that you really thrive in it too? How can we all be a caring family going forward? Now, is that always 100% possible in one single conversation? Not always. Sometimes you need to have multiple conversations. But that would be building a securely attached relationship, not only with the 2 of you, but helping him figure out marriage and moving past those beliefs, but also building secure attachment for her. Now, if he won't do that, I would not recommend being with him because he's using her as a convenient excuse not to get married. See the difference there? He's holding her as an emotional hostage, saying, you can't make me marry you because it will ruin my daughter's life. So there we are. What's up, my main Viking? The Viking of attachment. I love it. All right, guys, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Tomorrow, I have an incredible surprise for you. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time, same time we just started today. Make sure you come. Make sure you come ready for an extended discussion tomorrow. I'm just going to say, I have something so exciting to share with you. Join tomorrow. I am blown away. I can't wait to share it with you, okay? I wish I could share it with you right now. It's coming tomorrow. Come here tomorrow at 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time, same time we just filmed this. I will see you there, okay? It's going to be a lot of fun.